Uh, Today we'll discuss about the SL4j, how it is an abstraction and what are the implementation for this SL4j libraries like log4j, JCL and logback, and what about the bindings and what is the difference between bridges, where it will come. Okay, we'll get to know in details about these concepts, but I'll try to complete in the part 1. If it is not possible to complete in this part, then we'll try to proceed further in the part 2 as well. Okay, so directly if we move to SL4j, then difficult to digest the things. So before navigating SL4j, just will go some brief introduction about the logging, then we'll discuss about the other concepts. Okay, as we are aware, the logging is one of the most important criteria in any of the projects and any of the application. This logging will represent the flow of execution where the code is executing, and presently where the execution, the step-by-step analysis we can get to know. If anything is failed in the production or UAT or QA environment, then by using these log statements we can get to know where the is issue is rising and what are the how the flow of execution is happening. We can get to know this information by using the logging mechanism. We are having multiple logging frameworks like the frameworks. If we take log4j and JCL is nothing but common logging and logback. Similarly, we are having some other logging mechanisms like SL4j simple. Okay, and Java also provided the java.util logging as well. These are all the different implementations. Okay, suppose we'll go for one implementation, then we'll discuss how the log4j and all. Okay, the familiar logging mechanism most of the people will be using will be log4j. Before navigating to this log4j, just we will go with project and all, with one project, simple project application, so that it will be easy to know the other items as well. Like suppose I am having one application. Okay, in this application I am having multiple libraries. Suppose I am having one supermart. Assume I am having one supermart. This is the application I am going to develop. Okay, this is the main application, and this supermart is using different libraries. Suppose for calculating the bills we need the calculator. So this supermart is trying to develop one super calculator library. Similarly, this supermart is depends on one more library, that is weights library, because in supermart there are multiple items are there. Few we need to measure in liters and few we need to measure in kgs and few in lengths as well. So having different items, so we are having three applications. These three we are uh, coming under one project, assume. Okay, and these three modules developing by three different teams. Okay, but at the end this entire project comes under one project only. These are different modules we can treat. Okay, this is calculator library module and weights library module, and this is supermart library module. Assume the supermart library using Apache log4j logging framework. Similarly, weights library is using commons logging library, and the calculator library is using SL4j. Okay, why different implementations means there may be some dependency on the logging mechanism, so people may go to their own logging mechanisms. Okay, this is the one project analogy. Then we'll see, suppose if I am using log4j, logging API, then what I need? I need the log4j jar file for this dependency. Okay, suppose when I navigate to calculator library, here if I am using SL4j, I need SL4j jar, then only I can work with this SL4j. If I want go for commons logging, then I need JCL library, then only I can go for this implementation. Okay, how under suppose, yeah, we'll see one by one in the simple programming terminology, but here I won't go in detail about the logging. Suppose SL4j, if we go for log4j, right, we are having different ways of configuring, like XML configuration properties. Then we need to do the multiple appenders as well, like file appender, console appender. Based on project, these appenders will be adding, and the logging format as well, we need to go with the customer specific. Okay, then first I'll go with the supermut. Assume here if I am using log4j, then what I need? I need the log4j jar. Okay, leave about other two projects. These are showing red color because intentionally I am not provided the libraries for that one. Okay, if I am going for log4j, then I need log4j libraries. So this all three projects I am having only one pom.xml, assume in this case, and the artifact ID is nothing but SL4j, slf4j example, and this is some group ID I given. This is fine. So my supermart is using log4j, so I need log4j dependency. So when I am providing this dependency, then automatically if you refer here, right, maven dependency session, we can get that jar, so that my dependencies will be resolved in my project. So I created the logger variable, then I added few log messages. Okay, so for log4j we need to configure some basic configurator, otherwise it won't allow us to print the logs. Okay, just I'll show what error we will get. Run as Java application, proceed. See, no appenders could be found for logger. There should be some basic appender we need to configure, otherwise we have to go with the log4j.xml configuration or properties. So for time being I will go with the basic configurator, then I will print these messages. Okay, yeah, now I can able to print the messages info and debug messages. These are info and debug. Fine. Now this is simple project, just supermart. Inside I am having one main method, and this is welcome to supermart, and this logger info, and this is debug info. Once that is fine, then at the end I am doing thank you, means customer is doing some shopping. This is some message. Okay, this is one module. Assume in this module I am using log4j. Okay, now there is another module, weights library and the calculator library. Assume this is the calculator library. Okay, before navigating to this, I'll show SL4j how and all. Yeah, this is the SL4j. SL4j is an abstraction of the logging frameworks. So if we are going with SL4j API, the underlying implementation at runtime, if we provide any implementation, it will pick, so that our project will be independent of the logging implementation. If we go for the SL4j API, how and all we will see. Okay, suppose if SL4j API I am using in my project, then the underlying at runtime I can provide the log4j jar, then I can proceed. I no need to modify anything in my code base. Anything code base in the sense the logging mechanism or the instantiation of logics or the printing the logging levels. Okay, similarly I may have different implementation like JDK, Java providing logging, and I can go with the JCL as well, common logging mechanism, commons logging, and even SL4j also having one more implementation like SL4j simple implementation, and I can go with logback as well. Okay, with that information I am navigating to the calculator library. Okay, in this calculator library I am just printing arguments and all. Fine. I will go with a simple thing like individual modules. Yeah. So in my calculator library now I am going with the SL4j. See, if I am going with SL4j API, then I need to provide some implementation for this one. What I mean to say, suppose if I am declaring this as dependency SL4j-API, then at runtime we need to provide either of these implementations. If we are not providing, then logger statements won't print. That is one case. And the another case is if we go with any of the SL4j, suppose log4j dependency, then automatically this dependency and this dependency both will be included my maven dependencies. This is second case. We will go to the first case, then we'll navigate to the second case in programmatically. Okay, now this is SL4j as updated. If we are using calculator library based on future perspective, suppose if I want to switch tomorrow log4j or log back, the switching will be very simple. We no need to modify any of this code like instantiation or loggers and all. So based on the future perspective I am going with the SL4j abstraction. So when I am using SL4j, I need to provide this dependency, isn't it right? So I need to provide the SL4j specific jar dependency, SL4j API. Yes, this is the place where I am having SL4j dependencies. So when I am adding this dependency, you just check this maven dependencies. I'm having so it is included only SL4j API 1.17.6 only, and whatever this log4j is, right, this is for supermart specific dependency. Okay, now I'll go and run this one. I need to remove this one. Yeah, if you see here, as I included only log4j API, only abstraction layer only I added, but I am not provided any of the implementation, logging mechanism. So failed to load this static logger binder, no operation logger implementation. It's saying there is no implementation provided, so it's unable to print the loggers. Okay, to resolve this one we are having maven. Okay, assume I want to go with the log4j SL4j. Okay, now when we Google it, then we can get this dependency. Log4j SL4j maven. Yeah, so now here the bindings concepts will come. What is binding means, if you want you can go with only SL4J itself, but we need respective bindings. So without bindings we can't do our logging. Binding means SL4J plus implementation. This is treated as one binding, or SL4J plus JDK. This we treated as a binding. Okay, SL4J plus JCL treated as a binding. Binding is nothing but combination of two stacks. One is SL4J, another one is specific implementation. Okay, similarly in this case SL4J plus simple logging mechanism. Okay, this is the description about this logging mechanism. What is SL4J hyphen log4j? Redirect calls from SL4J to log4j. Thanks to this article, it's providing very good information. Okay, similarly, what if I am using SL4J hyphen JDK? These are nothing but bindings. Okay, redirect calls from SL4J to JCL. How means, it will redirects from SL4J to respective implementation. The meaning is, hope you got the things. Similarly, SL4J hyphen JCL means redirect calls from SL4J to Java Commons logging. Okay, these are the different implementations. Now bridges we'll discuss after some time. Okay, first we'll go to the bindings section. So as updated, we need to add the bindings. Not only SL4J, we need to add the bindings. If you see here, right, this is comes under logging binding sections. Here is the binding. Log SL4J, log4j. This SLF4J, log4j hyphen, this is log4j 2.17.1 thing, okay, log4j 2 core, but we need SL4j 12. This is the binding we need. Yeah, when we see this dependency, right, so if we copy this particular dependency and paste it into our project, I already had that dependency, just I'll uncomment in the pom.xml. I need slf4j yeah, this is the dependency present. So I am just uncommenting this part so that it will add remaining things. Yeah, you just observe here the Maven dependencies are refreshed. Control X I am doing. Okay, just observe here the Maven dependency section. When I add this entry, this dependency section, there are two more entries will come. Okay, yes, this is a reload. Why the reload, that also I'll tell some words. Yeah, if we add any dependency like log4j, then only log4j specific jar will be added in the Maven dependency. Okay, assume if we are using any of the sl4j-log4j 1.6.1 version, then it will add sl4j jar, slf4j-api and the specific logger implemented method log4j thing. Okay, this is the API we'll get, and as it is we will get this library as well. So when we add one dependency, it will add 3 transient dependencies jars. Okay, one as it is same library, another one is SL4J API, another one is respective implementation. Okay, when we go for version 1.7.34 onwards, it will add a reload specific things, reload jar instead of log4j. Why? Because they fixed some vulnerabilities, and here the log4j will be 1.2.18, but here 1.2.16. Hope this is clear. And even from 1.7.34 onwards, if we add any version, the generated transient dependencies jars will be like this. It will come as a related, and another one is SL4J specific. Hope this is clear. So for timing, for better understanding, I will go with the SL4J 1.6.1. Yeah, 1, and I will remove this this supermart specific jar file. Why I will remove? Just to see the dependency session how it is generating. Okay, just for time being, let me remove this one. Yeah, so sorry, this let it be. The supermart is using log4j, right? So this is the place we need to comment it. Because I am working with calculator library, it is showing error. Okay, let me remove this part as well. Okay, it is expecting closable. Yeah, now I am working with calculator library. This calculator library is implemented SL4J, so I added SL4J specific dependency. Why it is showing error? Fine. Yeah, when I add this dependency calculator, then if we observe the Maven dependencies, when we observe in my pom.xml, I am having only slf4j and some binding. Let me remove this as well. Why I am removing this one? When I add the binding, automatically binding will include the API jar and respective slf4j and the implemented jar as well. So now my pom.xml having only one entry. Okay, this is sl4j log4j12 binding I added. So it is generated, it is this is transient dependency on three jars. This is API and another one is implementation log4j 1.2.6 as the implemented logging framework and the sl4j binding as it is, whichever we mentioned, that binding with version it is pulled from the central repository. Okay, hope you are clear what's happening in case of log4j and how the sl4j we need to go. Suppose if I want to go with the, instead of log4j, if I want to go with the JCL, then I need to add the JCL sl4j-jcl specific jar. How? Means like this. See, at present I am going with sl4j log4j12. Tomorrow if I want to change JCL, I can just add this bridge sl4j bridge, so that my API will be same and this is bridge will be modified and respective implementation will be pulled automatically. Okay, now this is clear. Now I will go with another module, weights library. Okay, this is the weights library. Here assume I want to go with the commons logging mechanism. Okay, at the end I will enable all loggers, then we can count the respective libraries as well. Okay, now with the weights library module, now I want to go with the commons logging mechanism. For this what I need the commons logging, means JCL specific dependency. JCL specific dependency I need. JCL means it's a common logging mechanism. So this is, you just observe here the maven dependencies. Okay, when I enable, at the moment it will generate the commons logging dependency as well. Some disturbance is coming. Yes, yeah, previously I am having 3 for the calculator library and there is another jar commons logging 12 is added. So now sorry, in the calculator section I am not showed the output, right? So I will show output commons logging module. Initialize log4j. Okay, this is calculator library sl4j with the logging 4j. So when I am using, let me go for the weights, run as Java application. If you see, weights logic is going on and logic is printing. Now to, yeah. So as in my calculator library, I am using slf4j with implementation as log4j. So we need to add some basic configurator. Okay, dot configure. Then we can able to print this loggers as well. Hi, welcome to simple logging technique. Okay, if you want, we can go with the SL4 just simple as well. Even we are having that implementation as well. I'm talking about this one. Yeah, SL4j simple as well. Presently I am using SL4j log4j, right? Similarly, if I replace log4j with the simple, then I can work with the simple as it is. That time we no need to add this extra thing. That is fine. Now in the pom.xml, let me remove this one. Then I will go to the weights library. Okay. Yeah, I already took backup. Now this is my weights library. In my weights library, I am using the commons logging mechanism. In this commons logging mechanism, if we are not configuring any logging levels, then by default it may print info. Okay, we'll see that part. Anyway, this is not required. Yeah, let me try to run this one. Yeah, if you see, we are printing the loggers as well. Info, we are printing info logging statement 2, info logging statement 2. By default it is info. If you want, we need to enable the debug as well. Okay, now my three applications are ready with the different logging mechanisms. My calculator is using SL4j and Supermart using direct implemented as log4j, and weights library has direct implementation for commons logging. If you see here, the three libraries are present. Okay, suppose if I am using SL4j plus transitive dependencies will be added. If I am using direct implementation, then direct implementations. So in this session we get to know what is the bindings. Okay, now the length seems to be exceeding, so I will stop for here. Then next session we will go with the bridges. What is bridges and how we can improve our logging framework with minimal jars, and in what way we can migrate our application. Very simple way if you use the SL4j. Okay, thank you.